Jim Carrey said, "I think everybody should get rich and famous and do everything they've ever dreamed of, so they can see that it's not their answer." In the hero myth, the Holy Grail symbolizes the attainment of ultimate meaning. It's elusive, and many heroes never reach it. They may be close enough to see it, but seeing and having are not the same thing. When ambition becomes the God we serve, it is increasingly likely that we will live with the Grail just outside of our grasp. We'll be surrounded by goodness in every direction, but completely unable to touch it. This is the worst kind of hell for a human to live in. The problem is that it's difficult to appreciate what you have when you've convinced yourself that your answer lies in the ambiguous destination that is more. We need more stuff, more achievement, more hustle. It means that we're always looking ahead and we're rarely present. The Grail will be close, but we won't drink from it because contentment becomes the represented enemy of ambition. If I were to tell you to push harder to get your dream life, it might make you comfortable by reinforcing your worldview, and it might trend on social media, but it won't lead you to contentment. That's only going to be found on the path that you've yet to take. If you've tried doing, you may want to just try being. Somewhere between those two paths is a life of ultimate meaning. Knowing when to push on the gas pedal and when to ease on the brake is a matter of discernment that one must build by reflecting honestly about the fruits of their labor. The world almost always tells us whether something is working or not via real-time feedback. We're the ones who are so dead set on what we want that we treat all the red flags like gates in a downhill ski race, blowing past them as quickly as possible to get to our finish line. Unchecked ambition has a neediness to it that sends the wrong signal to the universe. By always needing more, you're living out of scarcity. Because the outside world is such a reflection of your inner state, you'll find that you've created a scarce environment to live from. You're constantly telling the world around you that you aren't enough and you need more to be whole, good, or content. When you think you need something, you add a hint of desperation to your action. And desperate people tend to do stupid things in the name of what they want. By the way, is any of this making any sense to you at all? I know when you grow up worshiping at the altar of ambition, it's hard to think about anything else. I could always say it in a different way. Another side effect of unchecked ambition is forward progress at all costs. When life shows you that you've taken a wrong turn or shows you something that must be improved upon, you're likely to think it's just another thing in your way to be pushed over or driven through. And as far as tools go, ambition is a hammer. If you apply it to every job that comes along, there will be some destruction that takes place. You'll get everything to fit, but at what cost? When ambition becomes the thing in your life instead of the mechanism that helps you get to the thing, your decisions gradually become more robotic as you prioritize forward progress over everything else. It's all too easy to lose track of what is real and what matters when you're looking through the lens of unbridled ambition for material gain. The problem with becoming robotic in your actions as you move through life is that at the end of the day, you still have to contend with being human. You still have to exist in the world with other humans. When drive is your only motivator, the chances of you alienating those other humans become significantly greater. You're better off putting ambition in the passenger seat and allowing consciousness to drive. If you don't, you're handing the keys to your well-being over to an unreliable drunk and hoping he can drive you home. You'll endure great emotional highs and lows as you subject yourself to all that could go wrong and all that could go right. As anyone who has ever done anything great in life can tell you, there's much more of the former. When you lose yourself to your ambition, unforeseen obstacles no longer become only about finding a way forward, but also about finding yourself, as every threat to the task becomes a personal threat to who you are. Not losing yourself to your ambition is one of the most difficult things that a driven person will ever have to face. Keep yourself in the game by realizing it's just that, a game, one of many which you'll play while you're here. One day I began to see my quest for validation and achievements as absurd activities that were keeping me from what I was really here for. It was in that moment I understood what the ancient Chinese philosopher Confucius meant when he said, "We have two lives, and the second begins when we realize that we only have one." With whatever time you have left, what will your life have to look like to make it so that all of the hardships you're going through actually are worth the pain they cause? It's not reasonable to assume that you should eat up any more of your time with ego-driven pursuits of ambition without the proper thought behind them. Because ambition will mean a lot more when it's applied in a direction that's actually right for you. Most of us are keeping our foot on the gas without realizing that we're still in the roundabout.